What is hidden in ice from 6 million years ago? Scientists discovered it in Antarctica in 2025. Even more bizarre than this piece of ice is. By 2026, the latest mapping shows that beneath Antarctica's ice sheet, there might still be buried a world we have never clearly seen. So, could Antarctica actually be the gateway to unlocking Earth's secrets? Ever since Antarctica was found, rumors about what lies beneath the ice have never stopped. Some say a lost civilization is buried there. Some guess alien creations hide deep within the snowfields. And some even claim that undisclosed secret bases from wartime still remain beneath the ice sheet. But what truly makes Antarctica bizarre is not these rumors themselves, but rather that after 2025, with the advancement of the latest mapping, drilling, and satellite analysis, scientists have begun systematic viewing for the first time. What is hidden under this ice might be even more bizarre than all the rumors combined. Antarctica is the 5th largest continent, with an area of about 14.2 million square kilometers, which is roughly equivalent to 2 Australias. About 98% of the entire continent is covered by ice sheets, with ice thickness in some areas reaching close to 4.8 kilometers. The immense weight has even pushed parts of the land below sea level. This is also one of the most extreme places on Earth. In 1983, Vostok Station recorded a low of -89 degrees Celsius, the lowest extreme ever recorded by a weather station. Meanwhile, satellites show that surface temperatures in some parts of Antarctica could even drop to -98 degrees Celsius. Precisely because of this, Antarctica is like a world that has been frozen for too long. And now, humanity is finally beginning to see what exactly is hidden beneath this layer of ice. Antarctica belongs to no single country, but has long been under a special state of international co-management. And because it has been sealed so long, and various countries have been involved in it, this continent has become the easiest place for conspiracy theories to breed. Secret Nazi bases, British and American military operations, secret nuclear tests, these rumors still circulate to this day. The most famous among them is that the Nazis once established a secret base in Antarctica, although to this day there is no evidence to prove this actually existed. Historically, Germany indeed sent an expedition to Antarctica between 1938 and 1939, conducting large-scale aerial photography and regional surveys. They even named parts of the local area New Swabia. Coupled with the post-war arrival of 2 German submarines in Argentina, rumors fermented. In the end, they grew. Meanwhile, the UK and the US did launch large-scale operations in Antarctica later on. From the UK's Operation Tabarin to post-war US Operation High Jump and Operation Windmill, military, science, and surveying activities intertwined for a long time, combined with classified projects during the Cold War era. This naturally made Antarctica look like a place covered by layers of secrecy. Precisely because of this, Antarctica later even attracted rumors about UFOs. Over the years, some people online have been claiming to have photographed UFOs over Antarctica, or to have discovered eerie objects under the ice. In the 2010s, a Google Earth screenshot of South Georgia Island sparked heated discussion. In the image, at the end of a long skid mark, an oval protrusion appeared. Many people guessed that it was a crashed spaceship half buried in the glacier. But in the end, the glaciologist's answer was direct. That was no alien spaceship, but rather a common trace left on the snow after a large avalanche and ice slide. Claims like the so-called Antarctica Restricted Zone, Icebound Area 51, mostly originate from this kind of imagination in essence. Antarctica has many areas with restrictions, but the reasons are mainly safety, for environmental and research management, not for a secret base, is truly hidden beneath the ice. In fact, the truly bizarre aspect of Antarctica does not lie in these rumors, but that scientists later truly detected an abnormal signal here that has still not been clearly explained to this day. Between 2016 and 2018, NASA's Antarctic Impulsive Transient Antenna, which is ANITA, captured several highly unusual radio pulses over Antarctica. This experiment was not meant to find UFOs. It was for a type of high-energy particle called neutrinos. These particles barely interact with matter, so they are very difficult to detect, but precisely because of this, they can carry information from the distant universe all the way to Earth. And Antarctica happens to be an ideal place to conduct this experiment. The ice here is pure, the air is dry, and there is very little interference. NASA researchers attached detection gear to high balloons to send them into the sky, hoping to use this vast ice sheet to capture the signals left by these high-energy particles. But something strange happened. The abnormal pulses captured by the antenna came from an unusual direction. They did not look like they hit normally from space. Instead, they seemed to be from below the horizon, or even like they emerged from deep within the ice and underground. This immediately made things feel wrong. If these signals came from high-energy particles penetrating Earth before rushing out, then, in theory, they would have to pass through thousands of kilometers of rock first. According to theory, this scenario should almost never happen. And because of this, as soon as this result came out, the outside world began to wonder, is there some special structure underground? Is it some kind of particle we do not know yet? Even claims like, is it an extraterrestrial signal, started popping up. But what truly made this matter even creepier was not the speculation online, but that scientists pursued it for many years afterward, and still could not explain it completely. By 2025, the research team reintegrated years of ANITA data and united a large group of experts to try different methods to track the sources of these signals. In the end, they still could not find a perfect answer. The statement ultimately given by the study was restrained. These signals did not come from neutrinos as originally assumed, but they did indeed occur. So the most accurate definition at present is not solved, but rather an anomaly. In other words, the most hair-raising thing about Antarctica is when scientists lifted instruments into the high sky and aimed them at this ice sheet, they actually measured something that temporarily cannot be explained by current theories. And when scientists kept looking below the ice, what they saw was more concrete and even creepier than abnormal signals. In the 1990s, radar and satellite observations finally confirmed that beneath the 4-kilometer thick ice sheet below Russia's Vostok station, a giant lake, Lake Vostok, was unexpectedly hidden. It has been isolated from the outside world for at least 15 million years, and its appearance was before humans. The water of this lake has been sealed in darkness, under high pressure and extreme cold. By all accounts, almost nothing should be alive here. Yet in 2012, in samples got by the Russian research team after drilling through ice, abundant traces of life were still discovered. In other words, in this world frozen for tens of millions of years, life may have never truly been absent. Even more astonishingly, Lake Vostok might not be an isolated case. Over the years, scientists have discovered hundreds of similar lakes beneath the ice of Antarctica, some of which are not even stagnant, but are slowly interconnected beneath the ice sheets, changing periodically. In other words, what is buried beneath the Antarctic ice sheet might not just be lakes at all, but a water system and independent ecosystem that we still haven't truly seen clearly to this day. Beneath East Antarctica's ice, there is buried a mountain range that no one has ever seen. The Gamburtsev mountain range. Its scale is close to that of the Alps, stretching 750 kilometers long with altitudes reaching up to 3,000 meters. Yet it has been completely sealed underneath thousands of meters of thick ice. We have even obtained samples from the moon. Yet up until now, The British Antarctic Survey led a new Antarctic subglacial topographic map. BedMap 3. It integrates 82 million data points, making bedrock visible, ice thickness, and subglacial geomorphology much clearer than in the past. As it turns out, it was precisely this mapping that made humanity realize more clearly for the first time what is pressed under the Antarctic ice is not a simple continent at all. There are deeply buried mountain ranges, canyons, basins, and many complex structures that were not fully seen in the past. Even the thickest ice layer in Antarctica has been relocated to a deep valley in East Antarctica with a thickness of nearly 4.8 kilometers. And in that same year, the European Space Agency, based on long-term satellite data, discovered 85 previously unknown lakes under the ice around the South Pole. In other words, what 2025 left behind for Antarctica? It is not an answer, but rather more new questions that have just been raised. Among them, the most astonishing discovery comes from a piece of ancient ice. In the Allen Hills area, they discovered an ancient ice layer about 6 million years old. This is currently one of the oldest ice layers directly dated on Earth. When this ice was formed, Earth was warmer than it is today, and sea levels were higher. By analyzing the oxygen isotopes in the ice layer, researchers directly observed climate changes in Antarctica over millions of years. In other words, this ice is not just ice. It is more like a time machine that has been sealed for 6 million years, preserving clues about Earth's ancient climate until today. And this also means that the Antarctica we see now is not just a frozen zone. It is also an ancient archive left behind by Earth itself. But what truly makes this continent even more mysterious is more than just this. By 2026, research on Antarctica's topography received another update. The research team utilized high-resolution satellite data and new analysis methods to map a more detailed subglacial topographic map of all of Antarctica. Data shows that many areas previously thought to be relatively flat are actually far from as simple as we imagined. Beneath the new map, hidden under the Antarctic ice sheet, are more rugged mountain ranges, deep valleys, and waterways. They also identified about 72,000 subglacial hills, a number much higher than previous models. The subglacial world of Antarctica that humans saw before was very likely always seen as too flat. From the ancient ice layers of 6 million years ago to the newly found subglacial mountains, canyons, and lake basins, what Antarctica has left for humanity has never been an answer, but rather more and more new questions that have just surfaced. When we first talked of Antarctica, we liked to think of conspiracies, rumors, and stories that are hard to verify. But when science truly illuminates the ice layer by layer, what humans see is, in fact, more shocking than the rumors. We did not find Nazi bases, nor did we discover alien spacecraft, but we have seen subglacial lakes sealed for tens of millions of years, seen mountain ranges that no one has ever seen, and also seen the millions of years old climate code that Earth has saved itself. So the truly fascinating thing about Antarctica has never been that it hides some legendary story, but that even today, it keeps reminding us humanity's understanding of the planet beneath our feet may still be far from enough. And beneath this final frozen wilderness of Earth, just how many things remain buried, yet to be truly seen? Perhaps the answers are only just beginning to surface. I am Lama. See you next time.